Hello, combatants. Thanks for joining us today. If you're new here, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel, as it greatly helps us out. If you're a regular, welcome back. It's always good to have you here. Spreading the word for us really comes a long way. We keep doing what we're doing because we love you guys. And, we would very much enjoy to keep bringing out some stellar content. So, again, we appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, we are delighted to be accompanied by Michelle Lee. A lot of us know her as the ferocious, half-cotton Mileena in the web series Mortal Kombat Legacy Season 2. Michelle did an exceptional job in the role and displayed an interesting chemistry with her co-star Samantha Wynn, who played Kitana. Other than this universe, Michelle has gone on to do a number of different IPs, whether it be in the movies or video games. Some recognizable movies are Black Widow, Venom, The Last Airbender, and a couple of the Pirates of the Caribbean films. If you're a gamer, she's also been a part of some large franchises like Uncharted, Halo, God of War, and even Resident Evil. With that said and done, while also being the fans we are, let's dive deeper into the character Mileena and get to know Michelle. We will now continue to today's interview. Okay, everyone, we are now joined by the beautiful Michelle Lee. It's an honor to have you on today's episode, Michelle.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I like your shirt.
Oh, yeah, thank you very much.
I love it.
It's suitable.
Yeah.
So, to start off, I believe you were actually a bit of a gamer growing up and that you had occasionally played Mortal Kombat. Share with us some of your memories with these games and ultimately how you received the role of Mileena in Legacy 2.
Yes, I love video games. And this is back in the day, starting from the oldest of consoles.
Are we talking Atari or Nintendo?
Nintendo.
Okay.
Nintendo. Yeah. I think I played Mortal Kombat in arcades. Is what I remember. But yeah, I've always loved video games, and I kind of, in high school I went to I grew up in the Silicon Valley, so it was very, nerdy, techie, gamey, everybody. It was the cool thing. If you weren't into games, you were weird.
Then something's wrong.
Something's wrong with you. Yeah. So yeah, I played a lot of video games. Now that I'm older, I don't have a ton of time, but I love and appreciate them. And I love the movies that have come out since then about the video games that I grew up with. Amazing. Yeah. And you get to see the backstories. And I do a lot of motion capture for games that are still coming out now. So it's
That's
super
right.
Fun. But getting the role of, I wasn't offered the role of Kitana. So that's why I did Mileena. But I feel like, I loved her badassness, I feel like as an actor, you always embody the awesome characteristics of every villain or good person or, whatever. And so she, to me, was like the doer, the executor, the one that wasn't so soft. And, and that's what made the game Mortal Kombat so cool, because it was just ruthless. And I think she embodies that.
Certainly.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Did you ask me how I got it? I auditioned for it. I had friends that
Larnell Stovall, I think.
Yes, Larnell, that knew that the project was happening, and they said, it was Larnell, and he said, why don't you audition for this? It'd be great. And I did. I submitted an audition, and I got super into it, and I even took photos. I kind of I was like, oh, that's such a cool character. My headshot just looks so dumb, it doesn't compare. It's not it. And so I, took it upon myself to kind of cosplay myself into the role. And, I don't know if it did anything. I'd submitted some of those pictures, but it showed that I love the character.
Yes.
Yeah.
It helped plant the seeds.
Yes. Right. Yeah.
With you being an established martial artist, could you fill in our audiences with what type or types you've studied over the years?
Yeah, I love martial arts. Ever since I saw it in Asian cinema, I was like, oh man, what's that? I want to do that. And so I started really with um, wushu or hungar. I actually started with hungar,
Oh,
but wushu was my main one that I did for the longest. And I have a black belt in wushu, and I've done so many other different ones, throughout the years, just because I wanted to explore and I loved it. I didn't really, commit to any of them as much as I did wushu because I just love the variety in Chinese martial arts. So many different weapons, so many different types of styles and animals, and to me it was like a wealth, like a never ending, like fountain of magic. So that is my first love, but I love all martial arts. I think, Krav Maga, I did boxing for a while and got my arms, I was like super ripped, and I was like, wow. So this is why boxers are so strong looking up top. So it and seeing what they do to my body and seeing what they do to strengthen different parts, it's really interesting. I love martial arts.
is it true you and Mark Dacascos, who played Kung Lao, used to practice wushu together?
Yes, yes. I love Mark Dacascos. He trained at the same place I trained at.
Wow.
He's a phenomenal martial artist and human being. And yeah, I don't know how it just by chance we knew. I feel like, if you're a martial artist in the industry, maybe I don't know about now, but or even now, like back in the day, like if you're in that kind of group of like, hey, these are all excellent fighters, these are all excellent actors, these are all, they all have a great look, whatever. You kind of know each other because you've maybe trained in the same place, and we all travel around and check out different places to train because we all, I think, are trying to expand our knowledge of martial arts. So it's like, oh, I've seen him in that studio, or when I went to this place to train, I saw him, or I went to this audition, he was auditioning for the fighter and I was auditioning for the other fighter, like
Yeah.
we're just all in the same soup.
Yeah. So to speak.
Yeah. Yeah, so to speak. And yeah, so I did know him and trained with him.
Brilliant. From what I understand, improvisation was very little in Legacy, given the tight time frame for shooting. However, did you incorporate anything in particular to Melina's character? If I'm not mistaken, you had actually brainstormed ideas of how she would look and move. Elaborate on if you had any input as far as the creative process goes.
Um, yeah, you're right. Me personally, I didn't improv too much. That was Casper Van Dien's, Holy Grail. He was fantastic at it. I feel like every other line would be like something new. I'd be like, oh, that's different. That's
Oh,
funny.
wow.
No, not every other line, but like I do remember him, just trying fun things. He's such a personality,
Oh,
yeah. But for me, I think more the improv was kind of like the unsaid things that I created in the back of my crazy head. I'm like,
okay.
well, she just came from this and she just murdered this person and she's coming into the room in action,
Right.
and my one
Yeah.
my one line would be like, prepare the troops, and I've created this whole backstory in my head, so that was one thing. I think I got to really work with hair and wardrobe to be like, to kind of create her look.
Oh,
You know what I
wonderful.
mean?
Good.
I was like, well, Katana's definitely the coiffed, like clean, like sleek, badass, and I feel like I would be the messy, animalistic, crazy, like she doesn't have time to brush her hair,
100%.
Yeah, and yeah, so that we got to play a little bit of that kind of improvisation with the excellent team of makeup and hair and wardrobe, and the wardrobe as well, kind of like, playing with their outfits and seeing what, kind of referencing like the game, and like,
Yeah.
and going back and being like, well, maybe this look, and like kind of playing with it. So we're lucky that we got to kind of do that.
Yeah. What was your initial reaction like after you first viewed the scene where Melina viciously reveals her true teeth? Were you taken back by it? Were you satisfied?
I couldn't wait to see it, and when I saw it, I was like, "What? That's awesome!" I was like, "How they make my mouth do that?" But it was awesome. It's just like such a cool, fun feature. I love it. I love
Yeah.
looking all messed up and crazy, and the more CG, the better, as long as it looks good.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I thought it was awesome. I thought it was such a badass scene when she goes.
Yeah, I
I was
highly
like,
agree. And
oh.
and you got to consider too, for a project with such a low budget, I thought they did a fantastic job. They
I
utilized everything
know,
perfectly, and I
I
was very
know.
impressed.
Yeah, me too. Like
Yeah.
we were run and gun, and we were like, let's go. The lights going down. We don't have budget to do another day. Like bare minimum. But I think, with the team of incredible fighters and also actors, they managed to really kind of put it together really awesome.
You
Yeah.
said it. How long
Yeah.
did it take to apply the makeup? Kind of like what you call, I guess, the Joker kind of scar.
Yeah, that was cool, huh? The prosthetic didn't take too long. It was like, maybe an extra 30 minutes in the
Oh, that's
makeup
not bad.
chair. It's not bad. It was just, I think, a little prosthetic that they've molded and every day put on and glued on and then makeuped over. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's minimal.
Which locations did you happen to shoot in, and how long did it take to film your fight scene with Samantha Wynn and Casper Van Dien?
I would say, I mean, mainly we shot up north of LA.
Mm,
I don't exactly remember the name of the location, but I think it was somewhere in Santa Clarita.
okay.
If you know where that is. It's very hot. Very hot.
Yeah.
I remembered it was very hot there. Uh, and it was kind of like a foresty area, a very brown part of LA. Everything was just brown and dry. But yeah, I mean, and then my scene with Samantha, Sam, I call her Sam.
Sam.
Yeah, it was, I feel like we never had more than a day, just because of the quick schedule, quick turnaround. Like we didn't have like a comfortable amount of time to do coverage and everything. Like if it was a short scene, it was like maybe a day with a lot of coverage with dialogue, you know what I mean? So in
Mm-hmm.
general, about a day for each fight scene, I would say.
Oh, excellent. Were there any like funny scenes or bloopers that you can recall?
I mean, with Casper, there's always bloopers and always like funny quips and whatever. I mean, that scene with Samantha, Sam, Samantha's so funny to me. I mean, her fan just was tricky because it needed a perfectly open and close at the right time, and like messing with
Yeah.
her fan. And I remember, I just remember like a lot of just like bloopers, like sorry, I'm messed that up, and
Yeah. Yeah.
and redoing the fights because it was like, it looks stronger this way. So it's just regular filming, kind of like it's fun. It's fun because we're dressed as Mortal Kombat characters, and
Right.
and Casper Van Dien is hilarious.
Can't get much
So
better than that.
no, you can't get a better day of filming than that. Fighting, you know what I mean? And Sam looked so cool in her like one special pose with the blood in her face.
Yeah.
And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I just it was just so fun. Even when she did it, I was like, oh, like you can, like, I'm like, that's gonna look good on film. So it's really exciting. It's just a fun time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to assume that every scene you had shot made it to the final cut, or was there by small chance anything that was left out?
Um, I can't exactly remember anything that we've shot that didn't make it. I feel like everything made it.
Okay.
Besides the bloopers. um, yeah, but
Casper Van Dien just making a break character.
yeah, I know exactly.
Uh,
What a joy he is to have on set.
yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember. Don't quote me on that, but I
Fair
think
enough.
everything made it in. Just because there was no time for extra scenes. I feel like big budget movies are like, oh, what if we added this scene? Oh, it doesn't.
True.
It just cost us $200,000.
Chump change.
Whatever. But with us, it was like, let's go, let's do it. We have 30 to an hour to cover this, and so we trimmed all the fat.
Yeah, very good. When we had Dan Southworth on the show, he said much of the same thing. It was just go, 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 go.
Yeah. You had Dan Southworth. Yay.
Yeah.
To check that out.
Speaking of the cast, do you still keep in touch with anyone today? I'm going to highly assume Sam as well.
Yeah, I see Sam around. I message her. We chat a little bit. Casper sometimes. Dan Southworth, I haven't seen in a minute, but it's like, I feel like we're never far apart. I feel like I can always message them. You know what I mean? Like they don't feel like unreachable,
Yeah.
Let's see, who else? I did a little project with Eric Jacobus.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, and a video game.
He does a lot of motion capture now.
Yeah, he's fantastic. Yeah. He's fantastic. He excels at it. Yeah, Eric Jacobus, and then who else? And then I see Kevin around sometimes. The director Kevin. He's on to great things. He's been since then. He's freaking like.
He recently directed an episode of Boba Fett.
I know.
Like, it's incredible.
Is that insane?
So much talent there.
Yeah. And I did an episode of Boba Fett. I didn't do his episode, but I did an episode of Boba Fett. Also, not as an actress. I stunt doubled.
Wow.
Yeah, I stunt doubled the armor in a training sequence with Mando. Yeah.
Would you look at that?
Yeah, it's so cool. I've been like so impressed with him, seeing his name on things, and I'm like, oh my god, that's so rad. And parallel to that, like I'm doing like great things that I'm so appreciative and so honored to be in projects where I'm like, I can't believe I'm a part of this project. I can't believe I'm doing this video game. It's like the biggest video game of the year. And just
you've been on a lot of huge ones.
Yeah, a lot of great video games, a lot of great movies. I did Spider-Man, was so fun. I did something with Naughty Dog, The Last of Us 2 was amazing. Like,
Oh, you did Last of Us 2. I know you did the Left Behind DLC for the first one. I didn't know you were on the second one.
Yeah,
wow.
I did that one was, worked on that one for a long time. I mocapped a lot of Ellie's stuff. Not in the cinematics, that was Ashley. Is it Ashley?
Oh, Ashley.
Yeah, it was Ashley. Yeah. Of course, that was Ashley. But just a lot of the things that Ellie does, the action things that Ellie does, and such cool, fun things that I'm like, wow, I can't believe I'm part of this.
What's her name? Chloe in Uncharted?
Yes. Yeah, she's awesome too. That Uncharted DLC was so fun.
Lost Legacy.
Lost Legacy, yeah. That's right, Lost Legacy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So fun.
There you go.
Yeah.
So going back to Legacy, I know it was a low budget project and therefore you probably didn't keep the costume, but did you happen to keep any type of souvenirs from set, or maybe small parts of the costume, like the wristbands, anything?
No, unfortunately. In retrospect, I should have asked, and maybe like pulled like a power thing, like, like, I'm the actress, give it to me. No, I'm just kidding. But like, I was too shy to ask. I was like, no, I can't ask. That's crazy. Like, they would never give it to me. So no, unfortunately not.
Oh, here's an interesting question. Do you have any
Yeah.
type of Melina merchandise whatsoever in your household?
I mean, I have the photos that I took on set that
Hey,
are a
it's
part of my
something.
memory forever, and like a part of the photos that make me happy when I see them, and it is always a part of my life. I look back and I actually was doing some like promo stuff for a role I was trying to get, and I was like, well, maybe I'll just put together a collage of like all the roles that I've played as, in film and television and games, whatever, and I just put them in a little folder, and I got I downloaded pictures from the internet, and I pulled one from Mortal Kombat, and I was like, oh man, that's so cool. Like,
Oh, well.
like the picture of Melina and the other, badass women I got to play. I got to be Ada Wong in Resident Evil 6,
That's right.
which to me, like, I've played Resident Evil 6. I'm a fan of Resident Evil 6. And when I was like, oh my
same.
God, I'm Ada. Oh my God,
I
I'm
know.
Ada.
That's a lot to digest.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
big deal.
Yeah. So I feel like those things, those memories, and those experiences, like, it's unforgettable. I cherish them. them. Yeah.
Have you played, by chance, even for a little bit, any of the newer Mortal Kombat games, or kept track of Melina's evolution throughout the years?
I have not played them because I've just sworn off video games lately. But as a nerd, as a previous gaming nerd, not anymore, I did YouTube all of the game. I just watched people play it.
Oh.
and watched all the end
Fatalities?
Fatalities. I watched all of them because that's the best part of the game. You watch fatalities, you don't need to play it. No, I'm just kidding. Sacrilege. No, I did watch people play it. So
very, very cool.
That kind of counts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you happen to see CC Stringer's performance in the new Mortal Kombat film? What was your opinion on that?
I love her. I thought she was so cool.
Agreed.
I wished she had more.
That's the one big downfall. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, oh my God. Oh, that's it. But she's going to come back, right? And then I was like, oh no, she didn't come back. Wait. They had her. She's so cool. She looks so cool.
Yeah.
Such a great look. Beautiful actress. And like, the character looks so badass. And I wished there was more of her. I wish.
Yeah. Well, I mean, considering the success of the first movie, it was, I believe, the most streamed movie on HBO Max, even beating colossal names like Godzilla vs. Kong.
Beat that. God.
So, amazing. The sequel's being worked on right now. There's always a chance she could come back. Hopefully they'll utilize her better.
Yeah.
And furthermore, there's rumors going around that they're going to try to make this sort of like an MCU thing and make television spin-offs as well.
Amazing. Wow.
So fingers crossed there.
Yeah, I feel like Kevin was ahead of his time because that's what it seems like, that's what he was doing in essence.
That's true, actually, yes, because he wanted to sort of start off with that sort of format and then gradually get to the feature film, which he was hoping to do.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was surprised he didn't. But that would be really cool. That'd be really cool.
That'd be wonderful. And so I guess you're probably expecting this question now. Is it safe to say that you would be more than happy to come back as any type of Mortal Kombat character at all?
Totally. 100%. Totally.
Let's get the word out, guys.
Yeah, I know.
Guys and gals, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Michelle for president.
And actually, I believe you're good friends with Lewis Tan, who played Cole Young.
Yes.
Wow.
I've known Lewis for years, and I'm telling you, it's like the soup we're in of like,
Like you
you
said.
know, the martial artists that also act and, you know, do a bunch of projects and are have been boiling. You know, Louis Tan has been boiling under the surface because he's got a great look. He's such a great martial artist. He's got such a great talent, and he's been
Yes.
just, you know, under the surface, just boiling. And I was like, oh, he's totally going to be a superstar, and
Sure enough.
you know what I mean? Yeah. So, yeah, I've known him for years as well. And he did a great job, and I was like, Louis, it's amazing. And he since I mean, he that took him off. He was already doing great things, but now he's onto amazing things.
Yeah. How did you first meet him?
I met him in my martial arts studio. He was visiting with his dad. His dad and I worked on Pirates of the Caribbean. Yes. So that was a very new. I kind of was like super new at the time, and I worked on Pirates of the Caribbean 3 with Chow Yun-fat, and
yes.
There was a whole Asian pirate scene, and so I was hired to be like an Asian. I was his like female assistant, you know, badass butt kicker, and you know, and when the troops came in and invaded, you know, we all fought, and there was a big fight, you know, whatever. And yeah, I was hired in that scene, and that's where I met Phil Tan, who in his own right is a phenomenon, like a phenom. That guy is amazing and a dear friend, and his Louis is his son. Yeah.
You also did Pirates 4.
I did Pirates 4 as a mermaid as well. Yeah.
Wow.
A CG mermaid.
Yeah.
Probably with the same teeth. They like putting those teeth on me. Something about my face that just requires sharp animalistic teeth. I'm so flattered.
I'm sure you get a kick out of it.
Yeah. I couldn't be the pretty mermaid. I was the mermaid.
No, you just got to make it that one.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah.
As long as you have fun with it, that's all that matters.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. Everything's so fun. I'm so honored to work on all of these projects.
Yeah. So, you know, with all these different projects, all kinds of popular films and whatnot, out of everything you did, what would you say might be your favorite one that you've worked on, the one that you're most proud of?
I mean, there's so many that I love dearly. I'd say the one that I'm most proud of is one to me that I'm really excited about. It's actually coming out. It's it's called Blood and Treasure Season 2. It's on CBS All Access, and it'll be streaming on Paramount Plus, and it's coming out this summer. And so for me, this is like the biggest project I've done as an actress, and I get to showcase, you know, acting and fighting, and I play a character that's, you know, a series regular throughout the entire season of the show, and I'm super excited for it to come out. So we shot it and finished it before the pandemic, and then the pandemic happened, and then it was like stuck in limbo, and I was like, oh my God, you know, I was like, what, you know, this project that I was like worked so hard and I'm so excited about it, and I was like, it's going to come out in 2020, you know, and then it just got stuck, and then we were all like, oh, and then finally, I don't know what happened, but it's done and finished and will be released this summer, and so that one, Blood and Treasure, season 2. Yeah,
can't wait.
Yeah.
So yeah, you mentioned previously that you were very involved on working with video games, did a lot of motion capture. Tell us a little bit about those experiences, how it's so drastically different from, say, filmmaking, and what are some great memories you have in that field?
Well, game making and filmmaking are totally different worlds, right? In filmmaking, there's lights, there's readjusting the camera, changing the lenses, there's wardrobe fixes, there's makeup, there's all that stuff that takes time before you can shoot. In a mocap stage, you're wearing, a mocap suit that doesn't rarely needs to be adjusted. Sometimes the little reflector balls fall off and it needs replacement, but rarely, it doesn't need to be adjusted. And maybe some head cam stuff needs to be adjusted, but they're ready to go. They're like, whenever you're ready, let's go. So if you're doing the movement wise, it's kind of nonstop all day long. You know what I mean? You don't stop moving because that's what you're there for, to capture the movement.
Right.
And so if you're doing a fight scene, if you're doing, traversing scene, not a scene, but a traversing walk or holding a type of thing, weapon or a lantern, it all is, they all need you to create an iteration of it. So, holding it tense, like something's happening and running, holding a gun, tense, running. Now holding a gun, but casual, and you're just strolling, looking around, and then the fight scene, they're like, okay, well, you don't need to jump high because we'll just move you. We'll just pick you up and move you across the man, whereas in a film, it's like, let's do it practically. Let's put you on wires and then let's yank you. And you're like, woo! I hope I land on a pad. Preferably. And if not, then I'll, just land on the floor and look really tough and pretend like it didn't, pretend like it didn't hurt. But they're two totally different worlds. But, I feel like what I bring to one, I can kind of bring to another. And it's a fun little marriage, that I can kind of work with. And it's all like in a similar vein. So.
You were actually originally slated to perform in a very different kind of movie and scene, in the comedy movie 50 First Dates, which I think was your first time working on a motion picture.
Yeah.
Sadly, there were time constrictions and your scene didn't end up happening, but you're still credited. Could you possibly elaborate on what that scene entailed, if you can remember?
I think if I'm not mistaken, I was so new. I was so green. And I kind of was like, what's going on? It was a scene where, was it Adam Sandler? It's Adam Sandler, right?
Adam Sandler, Drew Barrymore.
Yeah. I remember Drew Barrymore, but it was a scene where Adam Sandler, had been with a lot of women. And it was just scene where just many different multiple women were there because they'd been with him, and I had a little scene where I just said, I can't remember the line anymore, but it did. I feel like it didn't make it because they were running so behind and this and that, and didn't make it in, and I was so bummed, and I was like, oh man, what a bummer. But I got paid for the day, and so I was like, oh cool. And then later, a residual check came out, and I was like, oh, I didn't even make it in, but thank you. And then now to this day, I get, these residual checks are nothing to write home about. They're not, whatever. Well, but every day, it like, still to this day, it makes me giggle because I get like a little like, oh, here's 15 cents, and I'm like, oh, from 50
you were a part of it. You were there.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, it like tickles me because it's like my first thing and I'm getting little residual checks for it. And it's awesome. It's just, this industry is so insane.
Tell us about some of the things you do outside of the movie and video game industries. For example, I'm pretty sure you have a passion for photography and art. I believe you even have a Bachelor of Arts from UCLA in economics, specializing in computer programming.
Yeah, I went to UCLA, and I loved, I came from the Silicon Valley, so I love computers. I loved programming, and so I took a specialization in programming and coding. And then I worked a little bit as a coder, but then I was like, oh wait, but then I was like, I think I don't want to do this. I love coding. But I'm just not that great at it. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like there's some like star coders out there, and I love code. I love learning about it. I love manipulating it, but I'm just not the best one for it. But it was fun to study, and I feel like I can kind of like, if I need to, I can like find out how to hack into things. It's a useful tool
Could be
to have.
beneficial.
I don't know, not that I ever have or anything, but I'm just saying. Yeah, and it just goes with the whole video game thing, coding and video games,
Yeah.
And I have a daughter that is 6, and I put her into like little coding classes that are for kids. It's super easy. They just plug little numbers in a sequence, and I'm like, oh, I love it, coding for kids.
Look at that.
I love it. Look at that. They're gonna grow up to be geniuses with that kind of stuff. But I mean, I love design. I love techie things. Like I love photography. I love I love putting things together, editing some things. So they're just little. It's because it's the whole industry. Like I get to really, when I edit things for myself, I'm like, oh, okay, I understand more what. When I work on a film job, like what the editor might be looking for when they do these shots or these close-ups, or what emotions they're trying to do, and I love all that stuff. So, I hope one day I could direct or produce and get to create my own content and stuff like that. I actually have a project I'm super excited about that I'm pitching, and to produce, and we've pitched it to a bunch of great, big, huge, streaming sites, and
very good.
It's super exciting, and that's in the future, and that's all,
Yeah.
Fingers crossed. Yeah.
Great. So, Michelle, we're now going to jump to our last segment of the show, and it is called
Final Round.
So what we're going to do during this final round is we're going to ask you just a few questions about you, try to get to know you a little more. And so the first one being, what's your favorite color?
Black.
Black? You seem so certain, Michelle.
No, I know. I'm like, hey, that's so morbid. No, purple. I like purple. It's in the black.
Okay, you're getting closer to Melina now. I like it.
Yeah, purple. Of course it's purple. Yeah.
Of course. Jeez, what was I thinking? What is your ideal diet?
Ideal diet?
Yeah.
Delicious keto-friendly things. I love a keto diet because of the way it makes me feel. Not the way it tastes necessarily, but there are excellent keto foods out there. My body feels good on a keto diet. And I wished it was all carbs. I wished it was all sugar and carbs that made me feel great, but it is not. So sadly, yeah.
Do you have any secret talents? Something most people don't know about you.
I can do this. Is that exciting?
Hey! There we go. It's something.
For a while, I learned to flip a butterfly knife.
Oh.
I could take a pretty good photo.
Yeah.
I make a mean lasagna.
Hey.
Yeah.
Michelle Lee, Best Lasagna Award.
Lots of things. Yeah.
What was your very first job?
Ever? Retail.
Yeah, retail?
Folding shirts at Pacific Sunwear.
Wow. Any fond memories there, or glad that's done with?
Is that store still around?
To be dead honest, that didn't ring a bell.
I'm like, I don't even know if anybody knows. It's like a surfwear shop.
Okay.
No fond memories, because I was like, what am I doing here? I kind of got a job to get a job, and I was like, what's happening? What is this? Like,
hey, you got to start somewhere, right?
You do. Yeah.
What kind of music do you enjoy?
I love, I have to admit, I do love me some good pop. I'm just like, pop.
I love pop myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just, it's so not cool. I don't know if it's cool But like
A guilty pleasure.
I know it's I like music with good beats and any
Hmm.
kind of rap or hip hop or any of that with a good
Same.
beat. Yeah, so anything that moves me, um, even some of the screaming stuff.
Yeah, I like some post-hardcore myself.
Yeah,
Yes.
like
Yeah.
it because it moves me. It's like, yeah, that's
It all
I'm amped.
depends. It
It all
all depends on your
depends.
mood, the atmosphere.
Yeah.
If it's a
So
dark, rainy night, it's a certain tone.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Like, or some smooth, like a girl singing smooth jazz, like there, a voice like that, like at the right
Yeah.
mood. I like all music, but not all songs, but like all, the
Yes.
right songs in all genres. That makes
Hmm.
sense.
And
Yeah.
it might as well shoot this out too. Do you have any favorite artists?
Um, I mean,
Or not necessarily? Because I can say on my side of things, I'm more of a shuffle player. I just like random songs from like,
yeah, it's hard for me to commit to one artist. Be like, I love every song.
right?
There are some artists that have a great, set of songs that all of them,
Sure.
But it's yeah, I like to pick and choose. I mean, I feel like Michael Jackson, you can't go wrong with so many of his songs, and it
Oh,
just makes you feel good.
yeah.
So I don't know. I'd pick him if, or a good Beatles or Paul McCartney.
Mm.
Um, yeah.
What was
Although the
one of the
two don't really, but that's another topic.
What was one of the most daring things that you've ever done in your life that just gave you this huge adrenaline rush? You'll never forget it.
Oh, being in the helicopter with no doors, sideways.
Huh?
Yeah, that. I think about it, and I'm
Holy.
like, oh my god. I was shooting Lost. Remember that TV
Oh
show,
yeah,
Lost?
Lost. Yeah. What
Yeah,
season?
maybe the last season.
Okay.
They were in a helicopter. There was a big explosion, and the helicopter rears back and goes zoo, 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 zoo. And we were in a real helicopter in
Wow.
Hawaii, over the gorgeous blue ocean. And the
Yeah.
helicopter did this move that was rearing back and looking like it was out of control, right? There was no explosion, obviously. It
Mm.
was like a fake, we'll put it in post.
Yeah.
But the helicopter movement was like, and it was like supposed to be sideways falling into the water was the shot. And there was another helicopter with a camera filming us, and this helicopter had no doors.
Wow. And I'm a person that is absolutely petrified of heights. That's actually probably my worst fear, I would say, is
It
heights.
was
So
pretty scary,
that
and we had no seatbelts.
what? Yeah, right.
No,
What?
100%. We had a harness that was locked in, that was secure, that was our
Okay, yeah.
safety, and we held them,
Oh,
but no one, the scene, no one was supposed to be strapped in safely. You know what I mean? And
yeah.
so
Well,
we were all supposed to look like we were, in the helicopter, I guess, kind of free roaming and like, doing
yeah.
stuff, and then that was pretty
Whew.
scary. I just remember going, "Oh my God, that's the that's the ocean, and we're going towards it sideways." And a helicopter is so strange. The feeling of it, it's like you kind of can't predict. Like an airplane, you're like, okay, I'm going this, and like I feel like gravity makes sense because we're going straight, or you go down a little. There's a trajectory that makes sense.
Yeah.
Helicopters are so strange because they just hover in this strange, like, you're like, wait, where's gravity? And if they're sideways, you're like, what? Now where's gravity? They just they're it's a strange feeling.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah,
Can't
that's
say
pretty
I've been in
scary.
a helicopter. Wow.
Yeah, you should try it. It's
I
a
would love to. Yeah.
Yeah, you should just do a helicopter ride like over the Grand Canyon, or like over somewhere, cool
Oh,
looking, or over the
talk about
ocean.
bucket list.
Yeah. Yeah. What
Wow.
state? Where are you located?
I'm in Canada.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm
I
that
mean,
deprived guy.
yeah. They've gotta. Yeah.
We've got some
Totally.
nice mountains.
Yeah. Good. Yeah, but take a helicopter ride.
Yeah.
They're definitely a bucket list thing. Weird weird feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. What would you say is your favorite movie to watch?
Favorite movie to watch. I mean, oh, you know what I loved? Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. You heard of this movie?
Who's in it?
Michelle Yeoh.
Oh, okay. Well,
Oh my
shit.
God. Oh my God. I favorite movie of the year. Um, or top has now moved into my top 5 favorite movies of all time.
Wonderful.
Such a good movie, such a good movie, and heartfelt and like poignant and like well done, and the fighting in it is just
Well,
and the comedy in it is like if you kind of get Asian comedy in like movies from Hong Kong and that kind of humor, it's a different kind of humor.
sure.
It's not subtle. It's very out there and in your face. So like if you like and understand and accept that sort of comedy, because I can see how it can be like, wait, what, and is that supposed to be funny or disgusting or
Right.
weird or like what am I supposed to feel? But if you kind of get that comedy, it's hilarious and beautiful and sad and makes you cry, and the fighting in it, and it just a wonderful movie. I heard it was supposed to be Jackie Chan in the role of Michelle Yeoh,
Oh,
but
wow.
yeah, but I think for some reason it didn't happen. I don't know if it was a conflict or he didn't turn it down. I don't know what happened, but Michelle Yeoh did the role and killed it. Yeah,
Wow. Yeah, it's
so
definitely going to
good.
check that out.
Yeah, it just came out,
Definitely.
like a couple of weeks ago, a month ago.
Oh, is it on any particular streaming service?
I
Netflix,
don't think
something?
it's on streaming services. I saw it in the theater, and they're limited theaters too.
Ah,
So go Google it and find out, because
will
I don't
do.
think it's in every theater. You know what I mean? It's a
Yeah.
small-ish project, but
Okay.
so good, so good.
But phenomenal.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, your strangest fan encounter? One that really caught you off guard?
Uh, mm, I mean, it's hard. It's hard, but oh well. I mean, I feel like I've been to Comic Cons where it's like, oh my God, these people know what things I've been in. I feel like I'm
Yeah.
so incognito. I feel like
Yeah.
nobody knows. How would they know? I look different and everything. Like I don't have a name of being a superstar. Like and fans. I've done signings and fans will say, oh, I loved you in this and that. And I'm like, oh yeah, thank you. Oh my God. But it's
Yeah.
it's so nice. But I was working in I feel like the strangest one was I was working in Puerto Rico, and I didn't I didn't really announce it or anything, and it was a movie that was not announced, and one day I
Okay.
come downstairs in my hotel and this guy's like, oh, can I have your autograph? He's by himself. I'm like, what? Like, how did you even know where I was? That was
To start off?
yeah, I know. Those are always strange.
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
no
yeah,
doubt.
yeah.
And finally, what was one of the funniest things that has ever happened to you? A hysterical moment that'll never fade.
Oh man. Like funny how? Like funny, embarrassing, funny, like situational.
Yeah. Pick anyone, whichever works.
Yeah, you're like, yes. I mean, funny. It's hard to think of them because it's trying to think of something like ha ha ha. There definitely been moments where I'm filming and something catches a giggle and just we cannot stop laughing, and I don't even remember what it is, but just like action. It'll be something that the actor
You can't
does,
go to that
and
place.
and you're just like, I'm gonna ruin the shot. And, I definitely had moments like that on Blood and Treasure.
Oh.
Yeah, just the cast is so fun. It's starring Sophia Pernis and Matt Barr.
Ah,
Just beautiful people inside and out, and it's such great leads. But they're just so fun. I've known Sophia from a previous project as well, and just like not being able to stop the laughter even when scenes are rolling, and you're just like, I'm not going to ruin the scene, so
yeah.
I'll look good,
Kind of distract
because
yourself somehow.
yeah, because if I ruin the scene, I'm just gonna never forgive myself because we're burning film here. You know what I mean? And so, um, I would just say catching the giggles on set.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
perfect.
yeah.
All right, Michelle, it's been a blast having you on the show.
Thank you
I
for
can't
having
wait to
me.
see what's up ahead. To the people listening to our feature today, where can fans find you on social media? And if there's any other projects at all that you'd like to promote, please do so now.
Oh, I'd like to invite you guys to check out Blood and Treasure season 2, coming out July 17th on Paramount Plus, if you have Paramount Plus. And I'm super excited about that one. And you can Instagram or Twitter. I don't actually use Twitter that much, but Instagram me on at triple underscore Michelle Lee. So the triple underscores, because there's so many Michelle Lees in the world, and I have to underscore it to death. So 3 of them, please. 3 underscores,
You
and then
got to
my
do
name,
what you got
Michelle
to
Lee.
do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, yeah, it's been a blast. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Have a wonderful day, and I'm looking
Thank
forward
you.
to speaking with you again sometime.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye. And there we have it. Another fun interview, and we at Kamidogu hope you learned something new today. This has been an important episode for me particularly, as Michelle pulled off one of my favorite performances for Mileena in this franchise. Thank you so incredibly much for tuning into today's episode. Michelle still has a ton of work coming up in the near future. As for Kamidogu, keep your eyes peeled, and we're really looking forward to having you join us again for the next special. I've said it many times, but I'll say it until the end. Have fun, stay safe, and stay flawless.